Hey, my name's Kat. Welcome to Perfectly Imperfect Yogis for Self-Love, our yoga flow. So yoga is just a practice that becomes a habit that changes your life. So this rubber rectangle is where we need to spend some time each and every day, giving ourselves a little bit of a time out, moving through some asana to find that realignment in the physical self so that we can spend a little bit longer in meditation. Yoga means union, so whether that's union of the self and the higher self, union between yourself and the rubber rectangle on this day, or the body and the breath. It could be any of those things, but it is about finding balance and union. So let's get started. Come to an easy seated space. Make sure you're comfortable. It's the first rule of yoga. Find that comfortable. Sthira-Sukhanasana, steadiness and ease. So finding this comfortable space, perhaps you're sitting in Sukhasana, easy seated pose. I've actually got a block underneath me, just elevating the hips slightly so they're sitting above the knees. Maybe you can close down the eyes. Just have a sensation of what's going on around you. Notice any smells, any sounds. Perhaps a light breeze that's drifting over you. Anything at all. And notice all of these things. Maybe start to notice the breath as the breath journeys in and out of the body. Start now to follow the journey of the breath into the body, starting with that inhale. Fresh oxygen going in through the nose, down the back of the throat, into the lungs, and perhaps that's as far as your breath is going at the moment. Just notice where it travels to. As you exhale, allow the breath to simply drift away. Following the next inhale, journey of the breath in through the nose, down the back of the throat, perhaps feeling it journey all the way down to the belly and the belly expand. And then as you go to exhale, the belly contract, the lungs deflate and the ribs come back together, allowing the breath to release from the body. We're going to follow the journey of the breath for the next 10 breaths. Feeling the inhale, creating space. So perhaps you're feeling the lungs fill with air, the rib cage expand, and maybe the belly rises and falls with the inhale and exhale. So you allow the breath to leave the body. The belly draws back to the spine, the lungs deflate, the ribs contract. And we start that journey again. Inhale creates space, and the exhale allows us to surrender and occupy that space. Inhale, creating space, and the exhale, occupying that space, finding that surrender. Perhaps the hips are drawing down to the earth and you can feel that grounded connection. See if you can relax the shoulders and feel a little length in the spine as you continue to follow the breath journey through the body. We've got 5 more rounds of breath here. Notice the sense of calm that may have come over the body right now. All of those things and those thoughts that were distractions as we came onto our rubber rectangle, simply drifting away with the breath as we find ourselves present in this moment with the inhale, creating space, and the exhale, allowing you to surrender. We're going to take 4 more rounds of breath here. Perhaps finding a little kumbhaka or pause at the bottom of that inhale. And as you exhale the breath, perhaps a kumbhaka or a little external retention of the breath. Sometimes we refer to this as box breathing. We take an inhale, we pause at the bottom of the inhale, and we exhale, pausing at the end of that exhale, creating a little box. First it might be the size of a Rubik's Cube as you inhale and exhale. And as you elongate the inhale and the exhale, it grows. It could be growing to be the size of a house as you expand the breath. So setting an intention for our practice today, bring your hands to Anjali Mudra at the front of the heart center. Setting an intention for practice today could be something that you've thought about. It could be on your visualization sheet. It could be someone that you love. It could be just being present and connecting with the breath. I am present. I am loved. Any of these things set in the future, like you've already achieved the outcome, can be your intention or your mantra for today. So let's start with a little bit of a warm-up. We're going to come into cat-cow. So if you are sitting on a block, maybe pop that off to the side. And bring the hands underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. We're just going to start with a little inhale. The belly goes down towards the earth. And as you exhale, you're going to press the earth away. Tucking the chin towards the chest. Feeling that lovely cat stretch through the spine. So excited they named a posture after me. Inhale, belly goes down. Exhale, roll through the back body. Drawing the chin to the chest. Inhale, belly down. Exhale, rolling through the back. Inhale, belly down. Exhale, roll through the back. Inhale, belly goes down. Exhale, roll through the back body. You might like to take a few extra rounds of cat-cow here. Just moving the hips to one side, finding any places that might need a little bit of TLC, perhaps even drawing the hips back to the heels. Just working with the breath, maybe pausing for a moment in any of those places that perhaps need a little bit more of your attention. And eventually, when you've moved through that space, maybe change directions and done whatever feels a little bit groovy today, you can come back to your neutral tabletop. And we're going to extend the left hand and the right leg, pressing the earth away. And as you exhale, bringing the knee to the forehead and the elbow back to the belly. Inhale, find a little bit of length. Exhale, knee to the nose. Inhale, find a little bit of length. Exhale, knee to the nose. Inhale, finding length. One more. Exhale, holding here, maybe grabbing hold of the shin and feeling a little bit more of a curve coming through the spine. Release that hand from the shin, hold it there, creating a little bit of heat in the body. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, release that hand back down to the earth. And let's go again on the other side. So lifting the left foot and the right hand, finding length through the back body, reaching the fingertips all the way away from the toes, drawing the tummy to the spine, hand pressing into the earth, shin pressing into the earth. Exhale, knee to the nose. Inhale, finding length. Exhale, knee to the nose. Inhale, finding length. Two more. Exhale, knee to the nose. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee to nose and hold. Grab hold of the shin here. Just draw the knee a little closer to the forehead. And then when you can, release that hand. Holding the knee there. One more round of breath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release that hand back down to the earth. Take 2 more rounds of cat-cow. So inhale, draw the belly down. And as you exhale, roll through the back. Feel how that dynamic has shifted as we warm the body. Inhale, belly down. Exhale, pressing up and away. Bring the knees together and just gently tuck the toes behind you. So we're just giving the toes a little bit of love because sometimes they need it. So if this creates a little bit of tension for you, you can grab hold of the block, pop that underneath the knees, take a little bit of pressure off. You can bring the hands to heart center, close down the eyes, and take 3 rounds of breath here. Inhale, exhale, 1. Inhale, exhale, 2. Inhale, exhale, 3. This is a really beautiful opening for the toes. Sometimes we forget about the toes, but they actually play really important parts in our balance and also in our downward facing dog. Important stuff. So release the knees down to the earth. Bring the hands in front, maybe toe tap the toes, don't put a hole in the floor. And sit back onto the heels. So we're actually going to open up through the front of the feet and the shins. So you can have the hands by the side of the body here. Again, you can use a block for assistance if you like. We're going to lift the knees off the earth. Draw the tummy into the spine. Create length through the back body. Hands to Anjali Mudra in heart center. And we're just going to stay here for 3 breaths. Squeeze everything from the knees and the adductors. So you're actually drawing the legs together here and pulling back in, sitting into the soles of the feet here. Take 2 more rounds of breath. Inhale and exhale. 1 more round. Inhale and exhale. Release the knees back down to the earth. Take the hands down. Take another 1 or 2 rounds of cat-cow as you take the knees apart. Inhale, belly down. Exhale, roll through the back body. Feel that arch and that curve in the spine. Inhale, belly down. Looking towards the sky, feeling that tilt through the pelvis. Exhale, roll through the back body, press the earth away. This time we're going to come back to our neutral tabletop and take our first downward facing dog for the day. So tuck the toes underneath, lift the hips high towards the sky and draw the heels back down to the earth. So you might need to make a few adjustments in your downward facing dog here. So we're going to create a little bit of warmth, a little bit of length in the back body. So you can pedal out the feet, maybe lift the heels up off the earth, and maybe have a little bit of a challenge where you take the heels over to the right and the left, stretching a little bit into the side body. Coming back to the center, look towards the feet. Make sure the feet are about hip width apart. Then look forward to the hands and make sure the hands are shoulder width apart. The fingers are nicely spread and you're pressing the fingertips into the earth. So now rising up onto the toes. We're going to bend into the knees and allow the tummy to come down towards the thighs. Relax the head, looking back between the legs. Press the mat away as though you're pushing the mat to the front of the room. Take a deep breath, inhaling, lengthening through the back body as you press the mat away. And as you exhale now, allow the heels to surrender on back down to the earth. If the heels are touching the earth, you can challenge yourself to lift the toes a little from the floor, feeling that length through the back body. So in your downward facing dog and indeed in chaturanga, as we move through our vinyasa flow, if you're going to make any adjustments in this space, try and make them with the feet as opposed to the hands. So we're just going to come into our plank pose now, bringing the shoulders over the hands, pressing the fingertips into the earth and finding length through the back body. Draw the tummy into the spine so that you're creating strength in the core. Press the earth away as though you're really trying to press up and away, creating a little bit of doming across the back and the shoulders. Take another round of breath, inhale, and as you exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Remember, you can take a break at any time, come down to child's pose, or you may even sit in hero's pose, just here, or child's pose, all the way down to the earth. You can even take a wide-legged child's pose, so knees out to the side, chest coming down to the earth. Coming back into our downward facing dog if you have taken a break there. Finding that length through the back body. Drawing the tummy up towards the spine, even knitting the floating ribs together, creating length through the back body. Let's take the shoulders over the hands again. Finding our plank. Creating a little bit of tapas or heat here. We want to maintain that connection to breath that we established at the beginning of class. So make sure you are connected to that inhale and exhale. Finding that steady, calm breath as we move through our asana practice. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, press back, downward facing dog. We're going to take one more round, bringing the shoulders over the hands, finding plank, creating length and strength, length through the back body, strength through the hands as we press the earth away, lifting up and out of the shoulders. Inhale, exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Take 2 or 3 rounds of breath here. Checking the hands, checking the feet. Maybe shaking the head yes or no and finding that you have released any tension from the neck. You might be gazing back towards the knees or to the belly button. With the next inhale, look towards the hands and bend the knees. Gently walk the feet forward to the wrists. Bend into the knees. We really want to have the tummy to thigh connection here. So moving through our vinyasa flow, that tummy to thigh connection becomes quite important. So we're going to ground down into the earth. Relax the head, bend the knees, find the tummy to thigh connection. Allow the hands to rest on the floor if they reach. Relax the neck, relax the head. Maybe take a little rock forward and backwards, finding where your center of gravity is today. When you find that sweet spot, stay in that sweet spot. Take an inhale, engage the tummy, lift the hips, draw the head down towards the earth, perhaps straightening into the hamstrings, perhaps not. Try not to lose the belly to thigh connection though, even when you're upside down here. Gently gazing back behind you to the back of the room. Maybe feeling that balance shift every now and again. With the next inhale, we're gently going to roll up through the back body, coming all the way to standing, to our Tadasana. We're going to move towards the front of the mat. Bring the feet together. The hands by the sides. We're just feeling that grounded connection to the earth. So with this grounded connection, I want you to have that sensation of feeling the whole foot on the floor. You might even lift the toes so that you can have that exploration of what that pressure feels like through the feet into the earth and that grounded connection. So as we send the energy down to the earth, it's actually coming back up through the legs. So as we press down, we're feeling that lift through the shins, lifting the kneecaps, lifting the quadriceps, lifting up through the belly as the belly draws into the spine, feeling that slight tilt and draw down of the pelvis, an expansion of the rib cage, relaxation of the shoulders, a lengthening of the neck as the crown of the head draws towards the sky, and the hands float down to the floor. There's nothing at all to think about in Tadasana. Actually, there's about a million things. But if you can find some stillness here in this space, with all of those things, just find that space to breathe and connect the breath to the body. With the next inhale, take the arms up over the head, press the hands, palms together, take your gaze towards the thumbs. As you exhale, bring the hands through heart center, coming on down for Uttanasana, our forward fold. As you inhale, coming up onto the fingertips, finding your flat back. Really engage the core here. Draw the tummy into the spine. Make sure the head is neutral and you're looking maybe about 2 or 3 feet in front of you so that you are finding some length through the back body. With the next exhale, hands press to the earth and you can step back to your plank pose. Pressing the hands again into the earth, lifting up out of the back body. We're going to bring the knees down to the earth. The chest and the chin for Ashtanga Namaskar. As you inhale, find Bhujangasana, low cobra pose. Looking forward, finding length in the back body. Feet resting on the floor, elbows close into the ribs. Tuck the toes, press up all the way to downward facing dog. Making sure that those adjustments are happening in the feet. Finding that place of stillness. As you press the mat away, finding length through the back body, drawing the heels down to the earth, lengthening through the hamstrings. Take one more round of breath here. Trying to find a little calm in the chaos. With the next inhale, look towards the hands, bend the knees. You can step or float to your flat back. Exhale, surrender the head on down to the earth, Uttanasana. Inhale, arms reach up over the head, floating all the way high, dristi or gaze towards the thumbs. Exhale, hands to heart center, hands to the side. Take an inhale, reach the arms up high. As you exhale, hinge forward, come on down to Uttanasana. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step back to plank. Holding your plank for just a moment. Lifting the right leg up off the earth, not too far, just enough to challenge the core and challenge your balance. Exhale and release. Left leg lifts. Exhale and release. This time we're going to come back down for a variation on Chaturanga Dandasana. So bringing the knees down to the earth. So if you haven't built that strength in the biceps yet, this is a really great alternative. Making sure that the elbows travel on past the ribs here. And you can drop the belly to the floor, uncurl the toes, and lift into your Bhujangasana Cobra pose. Making sure that you're drawing the shoulders down the back body. Lengthening through the heart space. Elbows coming in at the waist, close to the ribs. You can tuck the toes and press on back to downward facing dog, making sure those adjustments are happening in the feet. And breathe. 2 or 3 rounds of breath here. Knitting the floating ribs together, feeling the length through the back body. Drawing the heels towards the earth, maybe even lifting the toes. 1 more round of breath. Inhale. And exhale, that connection to breath, so very important. With the next inhale, looking forward, bend the knees. You can step or float. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, draw the belly down to the thighs and the head heavy down to the earth. Inhale, float all the way up. Hands, palms reaching up over the head. Hands to heart center. Hands by the side. Next round, inhale, arms reach high. Gaze towards the thumbs. Exhale, hands to heart center. Coming all the way down, Uttanasana. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, stepping on back to plank. Finding that place of length and strength. Who's loving plank right now? Hey, plank. Lifting the right foot up off the floor. Finding that place of length and strength, engaging the core. Lower that down. Inhale to lift. Finding the length. Exhale to release. We're going for full chaturanga, so I want you to slightly bring the body weight forward. As you exhale, elbows come down by the body. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha, upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over the toes, press back. Adjustment of the feet, downward facing dog, and breathe. Stay in downward facing dog. Take another 3 rounds of breath. So as we've moved through our first sun salutations here, there's been 3 different options given. So the first one is to come down into Ashtanga Namaskar and take your Bhujangasana or Cobra pose, then pressing back to downward facing dog. The second option is to lower the knees down to the earth and take kind of a tricep push-up, also coming up into Bhujangasana or Cobra pose. And once you reach that posture, you may even be able to lift the knees and elevate through the feet so that you're lifting up onto the front of the feet. The third variation, obviously the toughest variation, well actually it's not, you can go one leg if you need to, but even stronger than that is the full Chaturanga Dandasana, which is the yogi push-up. So making sure the hands are placed under the shoulders and not allowing the belly or the thighs or the knees to touch the floor. You've really got to build the strength. So I really want you to honour your own practice here and make sure that you are taking the action that's right for you today. We don't want you to have any injuries, we want you to look after yourself and be able to come back to the mat and practice with your habit, your beautiful yogi habit. So here we are in downward facing dog. Pressing here, let's take 2 more rounds of sun salutation. Bend into the knees, look forward as you inhale, step or float, flat back. As you exhale, bow forward. Inhale, floating all the way up. Bringing the hands, palms up over the head, gaze towards the thumbs. Exhale, hands to heart center and hands by the side. 2 more rounds. Inhale, arms reach high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step or float, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, Ardha Mukha. Press it on back. Hold your downward facing dog. 3 rounds of breath. Inhale, exhale, 1. Inhale, exhale, 2. Inhale, exhale, 3. With the next inhale, bend the knees. Look forward, step or float, flat back. Exhale, surrender the head, bow down, Uttanasana. Inhale, elbows floating up, hands, palms up over the head. Gaze towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center, hands by the side, last round. Inhale, arms reach high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step or float, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, Ardha Mukha. Holding here. Breathing, 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 breathing. Connecting with the breath. Sometimes we say we want to find stillness in our downward facing dog. I think stillness is a really big ask. We want to find calm in the chaos. There's always little minute details as we move through our asana that we're going to adjust. So as you stay here in your downward facing dog, draw the heels a little closer to the earth. Press the mat away from you. Use the fingertips pressing into the mat. As you inhale, lengthen through the arms, lifting up and out of the shoulders. As you continue that journey of lengthening through the back body, lifting the hips high towards the ceiling. Perhaps when you connect with the exhale, you're lengthening through the hamstrings and drawing the heels back down to the earth. There could be a little knitting of the floating ribs back together. And you'll notice that as you pull the floating ribs back together, what happens is that there's a broadening across the ribs in the back body and a lengthening through the spine. So we're actually creating space. It's a very beautiful action once you have that connection to that sensation. So from our downward facing dog, let's lift the right leg, not too high. We want to find that balance between the hands and the foot. And as you exhale, step that right foot between the hands. I want you to drop that back left knee to the mat. Maybe you're going to squirrel that right foot forward. We want to make sure this knee is a little more than 90 degrees here. As you inhale, come on up. Welcome to Anjaneya Asana. So bringing the hands onto the quadricep, not onto the knee, but just on the quadricep here. Take an inhale and lift the chest. It's almost as though you're separating the ribs from the hips. So we're lifting the ribs up and away. Try and relax the shoulders, lengthen through the neck. And as you exhale, bring the hips back down to the earth. Surrender the hips to the earth. So we're using the force of gravity here, so we're actually not forcing anything. Gravity is taking us on a little bit of a journey. So the head being the heaviest part, the torso. As you inhale, you find length, expanding the heart space towards the sky, and as you exhale, maybe traveling a little bit deeper. Try and make sure that you're drawing this knee towards the midline and that both hips are squared off. You're not sort of compensating one way or the other. The hips love to be square. Huey Lewis on the news said so. Hands to the knee, inhale with the chest, surrender the hips. So this is where we come back to the inhale, creating space, and the exhale, allowing us to surrender and occupy that space. Take another round of breath here. As you surrender the hips, take the hands back down to the earth. Tuck the toes of the left foot, send that right leg high. Exhale, release that foot down to the floor. You can stay here and rest, or you can take a vinyasa. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, urdhva mukha. Exhale, ardha mukha. And then when we come back to our downward facing dog, if you stayed in downward facing dog, we're now all lifting the left leg high together. So drawing the tummy into the spine here. I mean, we can bend here and compensate in the lower back. We don't want to do that. We really want to engage the core and lift that leg towards the back sky. Drawing the tummy up to the spine, finding length in the back body. As you look towards the hands, exhale and take the left foot between the hands. Release the right knee down to the earth. Uncurl the toes. Inhale, lift the torso. hands to the quadricep. Telescope the ribs away from the hips. Exhale and release. Find a little bit of relaxation in the shoulders as you allow the tension to move out of the shoulders. Inhale, lift the ribs away from the hips. Exhale, surrender. Feeling a little bit of opening happening here. It's a beautiful word, surrender. Really is the sound of the action, very onomatopoeic. Inhale, lengthen through the body. Exhale, surrender. Making sure this knee's drawing back towards the midline. One more round of breath. Inhale and exhale. Bring the hands back down towards the earth. Tuck the toes of the right foot. Lift that left leg back to three-legged dog. Exhale and release to downward facing dog. Take a vinyasa. Bring the hands over, the shoulders over the hands. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, Ardha Mukha. Press back. Looking forward. Taking a round of breath. Bending into the knees. Step or float. Inhale to flat back. As you exhale, surrender the head on down to the earth. Uttanasana. Inhale, elbows float up. Hands, palms press together. Hands to heart center. And hands by the side. We're going to take Utkatasana or chair pose so you can stay at the front of the mat. As you inhale, the hands come down to the earth. The hands sweep the floor and you inhale, reaching the hands up high. The gaze is towards the fingertips. So the trick here is to squeeze all the way from the feet, the shins, the knees, and the adductors, even the butt cheeks. Squeeze them too. Lift the chest. As you draw the hips down towards the earth, engage the tummy, lift the chest. Draw the hips down towards the earth, engage the tummy, draw it up to the spine, lift the chest. One more time, hips down, engage the belly, lift the chest. Bring the hands into heart center. We're going to take a prayer twist. So bring the right elbow to the left knee. Looking towards the left, perhaps even looking up towards the left shoulder. Making sure that that right knee doesn't pop forward. If the right knee's popped forward, guaranteed that the hips are out of alignment, and we really want to feel this twist into the thoracic spine. Really use the pressure of the elbow into the side of that leg to give you a little more traction in that twist. The inhale creates the length. Exhale allows you to go a little deeper into the twist. Inhale, come back to center. Take a momentary reprieve as you reach for the sky. As you exhale, come on down. Hands to heart center. Get on back down to your Utkatasana chair pose. Left elbow, right knee. Knees squared off. Left elbow, giving you a little traction into that knee. As you inhale, create length in the spine. As you exhale, look back over the right shoulder. Creating this lovely chair twist. One more round of breath here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to deepen. Come back to center. Bring the hands down to the earth. Uttanasana. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step or float back. Take your vinyasa, whichever variation is working for you today. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, Ardha Mukha. Ooh, getting warm already. Making any adjustments in the feet. Looking towards the hands, checking that the hands are shoulder width apart, pressing the fingers into the earth, pressing the mat away. One more round of breath here. As you inhale, find length in the back body. As you exhale, heels towards the earth. Next round of breath, inhale, look forward, bend the knees. Step or float forward, find your flat back. Exhale, surrender the head. Uttanasana. Inhale, arms floating up over the head. Press the hands, palms together. Bring the hands to heart center. Allow the hands to rest by the side. Take an inhale, reach up high. As you exhale, surrender the hands, palms to the floor. Stay here and simply step the right leg behind you. This time bring the right hand underneath the right shoulder. As you inhale, lift up for easy twist. So pressing the hand, stacking the joints, Lifting up out of the shoulder, finding length as you inhale and look towards that top hand, drawing the hips down, keeping the belly off the thighs, feeling a little bit more of a rotation there. Lengthening through that back right leg. Exhale, release the hand down to the earth, step back, take a vinyasa. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, urdhva mukha. Exhale, press back, ardha mukha. Look towards the hands, bend the knees, step or float forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, down we go. Inhale, floating all the way up. Hands up over the head. Exhale, hands to heart center. Hands by the side. Going again. Inhale, arms reach high. Exhale, bow forward. Stay low with the hands and step the left foot behind. Bring the left hand closer to the right foot. Inhale and lift up and away with that right hand. Finding this easy twist. Drawing that right knee towards the midline. Lengthening through the back left leg. Lifting up through the kneecap. Pressing the earth away. Rotating and lifting up. Looking towards that top right hand. Exhale, release the hand back down to the earth. Step the right foot behind. Take the variation of your vinyasa today. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, urdhva mukha. Exhale, ardha mukha. Take 2 rounds of breath here. We moved fairly quickly through that vinyasa, challenging a little bit of our cardiovascular once we're feeling that warmth in the body. Take 1 more round of breath here. Exhale that breath, find that place of length and strength. Look towards the hands with the next inhale, bend the knees, step or float forward, inhale, flat back. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, all the way up, pressing the hands, palms together, hands to heart center, and hands by the side. We're going to come into tree pose. So balancing is a very beautiful thing. Balancing allows us that focus, that one point of concentration. You cannot think about sausages or watermelon while you are balancing. You do that and you fall over. So ground both feet down into the earth. We're actually going to lift the right leg first. So ground to the left, feel that connection to the earth, feel the energy going down, allow that energy to be returned to you. Find a focus point 2 or 3 feet in front of your mat. As you inhale the breath, draw that right leg up, press the right leg into the thigh. Now, if this balance is not available to you, that's okay. Tree pose, you can take it down here, just finding your space for balance. The only place I'm not going to like it is if you take it on the knee, so either above or below. So the thing about balancing is that one point of focus or concentration. Allowing yourself to feel that grounded connection to the earth. Press the right foot into the left thigh. So it's not a one-way street. This foot is actually finding traction into that thigh, and that thigh is giving it back. So find that balance, find that connection. If you fall out, no problem. You just hop back in. Bringing the hands to heart center. Drawing the tummy to the spine, pressing the foot into the thigh, drawing the hips down, shoulders down, finding length through the back body, crown of the head drawing up towards the sky, finding this beautiful place of balance and breath. Holding here, 2 more rounds of breath. Inhale and exhale. The next inhale, maybe closing the eyes, and as you're opening the eyes, expressing gratitude for the gift of sight and appreciation for all the beautiful things that we can see in the world. Exhale and release that foot back down to the earth. Allow the hands to float down by the side body. Taking tree pose on the other side, ground the right foot into the earth. This time we're going to lift the left. So find your focus point on the floor. Lift the knee, grab hold of the foot at the ankle. Press that foot into the thigh. Or into the foot, into the ankle, wherever you're going to balance, just not into the knee. Bring the hands to heart center. Find that grounded connection to the earth. Draw the tummy into the spine, lengthen through the back body. Shoulders down and relaxed. Finding balance and focus, concentration, lifting up through that supporting leg. Exhale, release that foot back down to the earth. Release the hands by the side body. Inhale, take the arms up over the head. As you exhale, hinge forward, come on down to Uttanasana. Inhale to flat back. As you exhale, step back into plank and hold your plank. Holding here, floating and lifting away. If you're coming to full chaturanga, make sure you shift forward in the toes. Come on down. Vinyasa, the last one today. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, Ardha Mukha. Press it on back. We're going to come into pigeon pose. So I want you to lift the right leg. Draw the toes towards the back of the room. Tummy to the spine, finding length through the back body. See if you can equally distribute the weight between the hands and the feet. Bring the right knee to the right elbow and the right foot to the left hand. Drop the knee down, the arm. Extend that back leg. So in our pigeon pose, we really want the hips to be squared. So if you're sitting off here, it's not really going to work for you. So grab a block, take that block, and place it underneath the hips. And it doesn't matter how far forward or back this foot is, it's underneath here. What we want is to find that place of being square, so that place of balance. Press the hands into the earth and lift the chest. So you're actually finding that elongation through the body. And you've got a little bit of a back bend happening here, a bit of heart opening. So this elongated left leg here should be running parallel to the mat. And that's a really good indicator of whether the hips are going to be square. So as you inhale, lengthen through the body, lift the heart space, look towards the sky and feel the length happening. And at the same time, see if you can surrender the hips down to the earth. With the next inhale, look forward. Use the hands, palms to press into the earth and telescope the ribs away from the hips as you find length through the back body, eventually surrendering the forehead to the earth. And then taking the hands forward. So if your head doesn't touch the earth, please feel free to use a block. The blocks just teach us what can be and what is possible. So resting the forehead on the block, you can rest your hands on the block. And I just want you to stay here for a moment and find a space in which to surrender. So stay in your pigeon pose. Take a really deep inhale. Allow the breath to travel through the body, finding and meeting any places of resistance. Allow the breath to make friends with those places of tension or resistance. And it's kind of like when we peel back layers. People talk about onions. I talk about Sara Lee Danish because I really like the cherry Danish. I don't even know if they make it anymore. But layer upon layer upon layer. As soon as you breathe through and release one part of tension in the body will send you an invitation to go a little bit deeper. So really work with the breath here. Find that inhale and allow it to create space. As you exhale, following the breath journey, allow that exhale to be the surrender that goes a little deeper into the space. Try and maintain your stillness here and work following the journey of the breath through the body. It's this body to breath connection that allows us to find that stillness, clarity, calm, and a little bit more depth and openness in our asana. Take 2 more rounds of breath here. Pigeon pose really targets the piriformis, which is buried deep in the glute. So working into this can be quite challenging sometimes. You've got 1 more round of breath here. In order to come out of your pigeon pose, I want you to bring the hands, palms back into the floor and gently use them to walk the body back. Tuck the toes of the left leg and lift that right foot back to downward facing dog. And we're ready to go on the other side. So we're going to lift the left leg high this time. We're going to bring that left knee to the left elbow and the left foot to the right hand. Slide the knee down the elbow. Take that right foot back so that it's parallel to the mat here. It doesn't matter how far forward or back this foot is. Just try and activate the foot so you're actually flexing the foot and you're on the knife edge of the foot here. So bringing the hands as close to the hips as you can. Inhale and lengthen through the body, finding the expansion of the heart space as you lift the chest towards the sky. Allow the hips to surrender to the earth with the exhale. As you inhale, use the hands to stretch the body away and stretching forward. So you're really trying to find the length in the back body as you gently lower the head towards the floor or towards the block or wherever that might be for you today. And eventually working the hands forward in whatever variation of pigeon pose is available to you today. So we're going to take another 5 rounds of breath here. Those 5 rounds of breath. Inhale creates space. Exhale allows you to surrender and occupy the space. Inhale, create space. Exhale, surrender. Allow the breath to work its way through the body. And as that journey happens, the body will send you an invitation to go a little deeper. And as it does this, go on the journey. See what's there. And if you're challenged at some point, you just want to get out, see if you can take another 1 or 2 breaths. It's right at that very moment that the work starts to happen. We start to shift and change. You've got another 1 or 2 rounds of breath here. So connect in with the breath. Find that sensation of release. Press the hands, palms into the earth. Gently walk the hands back towards the hips. Tuck the toes of the right leg and press back to downward facing dog. We're nearly home. We're on the home stretch. Bring the knees down to the earth. Shift the hips to one side. Swing the feet out in front of you. Everybody's favorite, Paschimottanasana. I love saying that word, Paschimottanasana. Okay, so we're sitting here. This is Dandasana. So it can be quite a challenge. My heels are up off the earth. My feet are flexed. My toes are pulling back towards my nose. My hands are by the side of my hips. I am lifting the chest, drawing the tummy into the spine. My chin is fairly neutral and the crown of my head is drawing high. Relax. Shift butt cheeks out of the way. So you might do this by actually physically doing that, or you can take a little bit of a walk forward. Flex the feet, bring the legs together. Take an inhale and lift the chest. You can have the hands by the side body here. So now Ashtanga Vinyasa, we like to challenge ourselves and take the hands high. You can take that variation if you wish. Otherwise, draw the toes back towards the face. As you inhale, expand and lift the heart space or the chest, and gently walk the hands forward. So what's happening here is that we want to actually keep the length in the spine. So in preference to rolling through the spine and creating that caterpillar-like posture, we actually want to feel the length happening through the hamstrings as we gently walk the body forward. Eventually one day our nose will touch the toes. I encourage you to flex the feet here, pulling the toes back and looking beyond the feet. And the reason I encourage that is so that you can go further. You can go beyond. If we're looking directly down at our shins, where we flow, where we look is where we'll go. So if we look beyond, maybe we find that little bit of extra length in the back body. We breathe and we connect into it and we draw a little further. If we're looking at the knees, see what happens? Back starts to round down and that's where we end up. So what we want to do is inhale, find that length, look beyond the feet and travel down. And when you reach that place of maximum stretch, Then release the forehead. If not, stay in that space. Find the length in the back body to the best of your ability. If you can't reach forward, grab a strap. If you can reach way past, grab the block and press that into the feet. Give yourself a little bit extra, work a little bit harder. Really engage the biceps here. So when you've taken at least 50 rounds of breath, just joking, maybe 5 to 10 is good. You can gently press the hands into the floor and walk the hands back. Take the hands back behind the hips. Fingertips pointing into the butt cheeks. Point the toes. As you inhale, lift the hips and drop the head. So this is our counter pose for our Paschimottanasana. Lifting the hips high, releasing the head. Taking another 2 or 3 rounds of breath here. Continue to lift the hips. Inhale, exhale 1. Inhale, exhale 2. Inhale, exhale 3. Exhale, release it on down to the earth. Come all the way down onto the back. Give the knees a little bit of a squeeze. Hug them into the chest. Maybe bringing the forehead to the knees. Exhale and release the body down to the earth. Take the arms out to the side. Take a deep inhale and roll the legs to the right side of the room. You might even create little crocodile arms here. And as you inhale, take that left hand and follow that hand all the way to the back of the room until you're looking to the back of the room. And this is your supine twist. So the knees coming up as close as you can to the elbow and looking towards the left side of the room. We're going to take 5 breaths here, feeling that lovely sensation of the supine twist into the thoracic spine. As you breathe, you can maybe close down the eyes. Feel the body surrender down to the earth as we prepare to come into our Shavasana. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. 2 to go. Inhale, exhale. Inhale creates space. Exhale creates that sensation of surrender. With the next inhale, bring the knees back into the chest. Maybe rolling on the back, giving the back a little bit of loving. Hug the knees into the chest. Say, self, I love you. As you exhale, roll all the way over to the left. Crocodile arms, opening that right arm, looking to the front or the right side of the room. Maybe resting that left hand on the right knee, creating a little bit more traction there. Take an inhale, surrender as best you can whilst enjoying the stretch, perhaps closing the eyes down, letting go of anything that's gone on in the practice today and just allowing yourself this moment of surrender in this beautiful stretch. Always feels so damn good. Next breath, bring the knees back to the chest. Give yourself one last hug. If you like, you can take a little bit of happy baby or dead bug. Feeling the length through the spine all the way from the cervical spine and the neck, even drawing the tailbone down to the earth. As you pull the knees towards the armpits, flexing the feet. You might even take a little rock side to side here. I love this posture in class. Everyone always looks so ridiculous, but at least we're all in it together. And as you exhale, gently release the feet down to the earth. Take the right foot to the right side of the mat, the left foot to the left side of the mat. Hands, palms facing the sky. This is a sign of receptivity, that we are open to change. Here we find ourselves in Shavasana. To the best of your ability, find that place of stillness. Close down the eyes. Allow yourself that sensation, that wave of relaxation. This is what we come here for, to find this place of clarity, of calm. And we've done the work, so this is where all the goodness comes into play. Our asana is bending and stretching and loosening up the body to enable us to sit longer in meditation. So this exploration of Shavasana, this blissful surrender in corpse pose, is the beginning of that journey into exploring our meditation practice. So after we've bent and stretched and found some challenges and overcome those challenges, now we sit or we relax, we lie down, corpse pose, Shavasana, blissful surrender. If you can, take 10 minutes lying here. 10 minutes of ultimate relaxation. Drift off into that blissful surrender. Don't be distracted by thoughts. Allow yourself to disconnect from the breath as it lovingly supports you through this surrender. And just be. I'm going to leave you in Shavasana here, enjoying these last few minutes of your practice. Thank you for being with me on the rubber rectangle today. Namaste.